Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. Tonight, we celebrate 20 years of late-night entertainment. This is Ed McMahon, along with Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny with some highlights from the past. Some of the stars sharing our 20th anniversary tonight are Woody Allen, Ed Ames, David Brenner, George Carlin, Diane Carroll, Sammy Davis Jr., Steve Lawrence, Liza Minnelli, Richard Pryor, Don Rickles, Tiny Tim, Danny Thomas, Jack Webb, Robin Williams, and Flip Wilson. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Thank you. That is very, very nice of you. That makes me feel very good. 20 years ago, almost to this very night, I walked out on a stage in New York, and the audience stood up like that, and I thought they were leaving. So welcome. Here we are.
Yes, sir.
Our 20th anniversary, and by the way, this is the only television event today that, as you probably noticed, did not begin with the Star-Spangled Banner. I'm a little nervous tonight. I really am. I'm nervous. This is kind of sentimental. Moments like this only happen every 20 years, as Gene Autry said yesterday. We have fallen into the habit over the past few years of kind of dressing up for the show and getting on the tuxedo. I must point out that the band is not dressed for me. They're playing at Jeffrey Horowitz's bar mitzvah in Canoga Park right after the show, so they didn't want to waste any time. You feel good today?
Very good.
This was walking into here today was kind of nice, you know. It was sentimental, emotional, and everybody was friendly. I passed the guard down here at the artist entrance, Pop Silverman. You know, it just occurred to me, I'm looking at the people in the studio audience, and I imagine the people at home, that a lot of you here tonight were not born when the Tonight Show started, true? October 1, 62? Some of you were probably born during the show, and I have a feeling that a great many were conceived during the show. Remember we had a letter from a lady a few years ago that named her second child Alpo? You have to reminisce on it. You have to forgive me because you get emotional on shows like this. And I was just thinking, the way you put the show into a time frame, usually is with your children, right? When I started this show, my youngest boy was 9 years old. He was in the 4th grade. Today he is 30 and in the 8th grade. Corey, if you're watching, son, I love you. It's just a little joke there. We've tried to figure out from time to time how many guests we've had on The Tonight Show in 20 years. It comes to something like 35,460 guests. 32,000 of them were Tony Randall. But think of the changes.
Yeah.
John F. Kennedy was president when we started this show on October 1 of 62. Things have changed. 20 years ago, Phil Donahue referred to women as broads. Yeah. Alan Alda had a bumper sticker that said, "Keep 'em barefoot and pregnant." Things have changed. And 20 years ago, Mike Wallace's hair was really black. Do you realize 20 years ago we were in the midst of the Cuban Missile Crisis? Right? Very close to maybe a brink of a nuclear war. Today it's gotten much worse. There's no pro football on Sundays. 1962. Let me tell you how long ago that was. NBC was #1. Ronald Reagan was a Democrat, blaming Herbert Hoover for laying him off at Warner Brothers. That's how long ago it was. Do I seem nervous tonight?
Yes.
I know, when I first started the show in New York City, I was nervous, awkward, and not too funny. Today, that's called the best of Carson. Since this is a sentimental occasion, before the show tonight, the Tonight Show, we had a little party. I proposed a toast, and Ed proposed to a piece of toast. You haven't changed that much, and Ed gives me a wonderful feeling of security on this show. It's kind of like having the Goodyear blimp behind you. No, I mean that in the nicest sense, solid.
Security.
I figure Ed and I'll do the show a little while longer, I don't know, and then we'll segue over to hosting over easy. I've tried to put things in time frames. 20 years ago, we started this show, and last week it was announced in the paper that a Japanese soldier from World War II emerged from the jungles of Guam. You believe that? For 37 years, he's existed on nuts and berries and his Toyota dealership in Cleveland. First thing he said when he came out of the cave, "How are they selling?" No, but looking back, 20 years, if I had to do it all over again, I'd do it exactly the same way, with one minor exception. I think I would have gone into the Formica tabletop business instead, but outside of that, I would have done it. Look, I want you to have a good time tonight. You're going to see a lot of things on the show. Some of them go all back to the 64, 65. You're going to see a young Woody Allen, a young Richard Pryor, a little excerpt from Tiny Tim's wedding. Believe it or not, you know that show, in 1969, the wedding of Tiny Tim on The Tonight Show had the second biggest rating of the year. The event that beat it out was man's first moonwalk. That shows you the priorities we have in our country. So stay tuned. I know it's only 2 hours out of your life, but it's 20 years out of mine. So we'll see you in just a moment. We'll be right back. Thank you. Thank you, Donaldson. Thank you.
Congratulations.
You are back?
Congratulations.
You're shaking. You're nervous tonight, too.
A little nervous. Isn't that funny?
There's a very strange feeling around here today. Yeah. I just said to our producer, Fred DeCordova, I said, "Fred, where's the rundown of the show?"
He said, "Over there."
He had it hanging over there somewhere. There's nothing on the desk. Anyway, this is 2 decades.
Wow.
And if you just joined us tonight, we're going to kind of reminisce and show you some of the clips. Some of them, a lot of people have requested. Some of them have not been seen, I don't think, on the anniversary show before. We're going to go back in time. Doc, come on over for a second. Sit down, will you? I want to say a couple of words before we start about Ed and Doc. This is in no way, it never has been a...
You're going to walk right straight over.
Very good impression of Quasimodo. We should have caught that.
Lost the plane.
Unless you're sitting...
Something to tell us?
Well, unless you're sitting in this chair every night, it's impossible to realize what it's like and how necessary to have somebody like Ed McMahon sitting here on my right-hand side. Because this show is off the cuff. It's been spontaneous for the most part, outside of the sketches, which we rehearse. And when we start here at the desk, and sometimes I get lost, he comes in and bails me out. And I just want you to know that if I didn't have you sitting here for 20 years, I would not have been sitting here either. So I just want to thank you.
Very nice.
Should I kiss you? No.
You want to. Kiss my hand.
And one of the great musicians, everybody who comes on the show compliments Doc and the guys in the band, and justly so, because they are probably the best group of musicians working any place today as a unit. And thanks mainly to Mr. Doc Severinsen and Mr. Tommy Newsom and all the guys in the band. I thank, and especially you. Now, as you know, from time to time when you're off the show,
Right.
going around the country, stealing a little extra money,
Yes.
we're doing a telethon or something.
Yes.
Doc will come over and sit here,
Right.
and Tommy will go out and front the orchestra. You're first.
Oh.
We sometimes get into little arguments here. We have exchange information. We'll start on a subject, and all of a sudden Ed will volunteer his version of the subject. And this is what makes the show. It is completely off the cuff. And here's a little talk when I think we were talking about something I had seen on a PBS special the night before about
bird, you said.
about the world's fastest bird. And here's a little discussion we had about that. Here's Ed trying to help me out. You know that the bird, and now this is fascinating to me. I'm just bringing it up to pass this along. There's a little educational feature. When the bird is born, for the first 3 years of its life, it never stops flying. Never.
Never. Thank you.
It never lights.
I was about to say that.
It never lights for 3 years.
Wow.
It eats in the air, I guess, insects. It mates during flight.
Boy.
Well,
Listen.
that's why they call it the swit. I don't know. What does that mean? What does that mean? That's the silliest
That's
thing.
the past of SWAT.
I know that's the SWAT, yes. The swit SWAT, thank you. Mates in the air,
Right.
And even sleeps, apparently glides.
Yeah.
But for 3 years, the bird never.
Yeah. Well, doesn't a shark continually swim? It never stops swimming. The shark never stops swimming. All its life.
What does that got to do with my
Well, I mean,
swit?
this you say for the first 3 years. This is all its life. It never stops swimming.
But this bird is in the air.
This shark is in the water. Be silly to see a shark flying around.
Wait a minute, I fail to see the logic of this.
A shark never stops swimming.
A shark is buoyed by the water, its own weight. It can rest and move. But in the air, I mean, it's one thing to do this for 3 years. It's another to do this.
I see what you mean.
You see the difference?
I see the difference.
Now, after 3, they figure that swit travels 1 million miles in that 3 years, and then lands. Now, I don't know what it does. You've got to say,
I'm glad that's over. You're gonna give me a little shut-eye here.
Little nappy poo.
Under this tree.
I don't know why I brought that up. I was stunned by that revelation. I did not know the swit. For 3 years, the bird does nothing but fly. That's got to be boring. Now, you're right about... Now, they're not sure about sharks. They're not sure. They say that they have to keep moving, but not constantly swimming, because sharks do rest at night. So that doesn't mean that they're...
Why at night? What difference would it make to a shark? What's the difference between day or night to a shark?
The sun go down, and we all begin to shout. Hey, no. Yes, the sun does go into the water. There are fish that only feed at night. That are and they're called night feeders.
What a good name for them.
Yes.
Yes.
So a shark, it can be dark. And the shark says, hey, it's dark. I think I'll catch an hour. I'm going to check that out.
Are there any shark enthusiasts here?
Okay, all right. Fair is fair.
Fair is fair.
Now, is there anybody, an ichthyologist here? Well, would you sit with the ornithologist? Because you is that true about a shark?
Ah.
They swim constantly?
Once in a while after dinner or something, they may have a cigarette. But I mean, that's...
After sex, they smoke a herring. Another. Okay. Now. Smoke a herring. Now, Doc, I don't get a chance to talk with as often, but we talked one night when Ed was off, and it was around Thanksgiving. And I found out what a warm, emotional, friendly time of year Thanksgiving meant to Doc. You'll see about his explanation in just a moment. What are you doing for Thanksgiving? We're doing the show, of course, tomorrow.
I was going to ask you if you got your turkey yet.
Sure.
Do you, truthfully, do you help Mrs. Carson prepare the turkey?
Just like you help Mrs. Severinsen prepare the turkey.
No, there is no Mrs.
Oh, that's right.
There used to be.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
The fact that I
hard for
never
me to
helped
keep
her
track.
stuff her bird was one of our big problems.
I thought that was your problem. Well, now, you know, I forgot all about that. We've been together so long that I forget sometimes where we are.
Which wife are we on?
On various Thanksgivings. No, we're gonna...
In fact, that was one of the things we really fought about.
What? Did you...
I wanted an oyster stuffing in the turkey, and she wanted bread stuffing, and she got bread stuffing and a lot of money.
You mean you used to argue about what you're going to stuff the turkey with?
Yes.
And that was one of the problems.
She's still stuffing the turkey, but not with money.
Well, it's nice to know you have no bitterness.
I always used to say, you know, I mean, you can have turkey and all that. I don't like turkey that much.
Yeah?
I said, I love lasagna. She calls up every year at Thanksgiving and says, are you having your lasagna?
They don't forget, do they?
No.
I'm sorry about that. Well, we're having a...
You didn't answer the question.
What, are we having turkey?
Yes.
No, I don't help. I don't know about that stuff.
Be careful, those turkeys, they'll get you.
You're not going to celebrate.
I suppose you'll be home with the family having turkey. Just a typical American family.
That's right. Now,
I'm just going to the Zodi's Day Parade. Watch Big Bertha come by.
Look, if you really feel badly now, I feel so terrible that you're going to be alone. Would you
I
like...
didn't say I was going to be alone.
You just said you ain't going to eat no turkey, right?
That's right.
You can come over there. Would you like to come to the house and...
This is the first time you've ever asked me.
Well, you made me feel so guilty.
I mean, you, when you ask an employee in front of 15 million people, do you want to come to the house for Thanksgiving dinner? What am I going to say? No. You know what I say? I say, yes, Mr. Carson, I love it.
Can you come?
No.
That is beautiful.
No. Well, things are much better now in Doc's life. I guess all of our lives. I guess it's time to do our next little segment. In the 20 years we have done this show, I don't think I was more startled the night that Tiny Tim made his very first appearance. And the first time I heard that name, you know, you all think of Tiny Tim of Dickens' Christmas Carol. And somebody said, no, this is a fellow who calls himself Tiny Tim, and he is different. Which was the understatement of 2 decades. And normally I don't meet guests before the show, except sometimes when they're friends you say hello backstage, because we want to keep it fresh. And this is the very first appearance. I think the year was 1968. And here is Tiny Tim's first appearance on The Tonight Show.
Why, just take it from me, I'm just as free as any daughter. I do what I like, just what I like, and how I love it. I'm right here to stay when I'm old and gray, right in my prime. Living in the sunlight, loving in the moonlight, having a wonderful time.
How are you?
Wonderful, thank you, sir.
That's the damnedest act I've ever seen.
Phil, that last number is very catchy. Really? No, it is. It's not a dum-ba-dum-ba-dum-bum. What's the name of that?
Living in the Sunlight, Loving in the Moonlight.
Is that an original?
No, that was made famous by Marie Chevalier in 1929.
I knew that. It struck a bell someplace, but that's it. You don't do it like Chevalier. We never met until just backstage a moment ago, did we?
That's right, Mr. Carson.
Are you married? I'll put that down as a no.
And then Tiny Tim met Miss Vicky, and in 1969, they were married on The Tonight Show.
I do now declare that ye are husband and wife, and whom therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. And the Lord bless thee and keep thee this day and unto the end. Amen. Let me kiss the bride.
If you can believe, that was an event. We had some criticism at the time for having that wedding performed on television, but I think we did it fairly tastefully, and because he was an unusual personality, and he wanted to be married on The Tonight Show.
He announced it on the air?
He announced it on the air, and if we hadn't done it, Ed Sullivan would have grabbed it immediately,
Oh, yeah.
Right here on our stage, here's Tiny Tim's wedding, so we figured we better do it.
How are we doing on time? Okay, one of the big stories in Hollywood the past years, you know, was the acquisition of Columbia Pictures by Coca-Cola. A lot of the major studios have owners that produce other products than just motion pictures. So they gave us an idea one night for a little sketch. And we thought what it might be like if some conglomerate with a multitude of products to sell might really alter a classic movie to make it really more commercial. For example, something like Hamlet, as done by one of these new movie studios. Here's our version. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it is noble in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing, end them. To die. To sleep no more. And if you can't sleep no more, take Somanex tonight and sleep. Safe and restful, sleep, sleep, sleep. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. And if you're having trouble with your shocks, get them checked at your local AMCO transmission center. AMCO, AA, MCO. It is a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, or perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. Mentally, deep heating rub. There's no beating, deep heating. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. And as we pause for a moment, let me ask you, Are you suffering the slings and arrows of painful hemorrhoidal itching? Then try this. It worked for me. It can work for you. Or my name isn't Hamlet. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. But when he travels, nobody knows him. That's why he carries this, the American Express card. Don't leave Denmark without it. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Thank you, Doc. Thank you. One of the truly rewarding aspects of doing this show year after year is the opportunity to watch new young comedians come on the show and then over the years develop into really solid professionals. We're going to show you some film clips. This is not necessarily the first appearance of these gentlemen on television, but very early in their career on The Tonight Show. I think you'll recognize all of them. So here they are.
And now with the latest in weather, here's Al Sweet, your hippy-dippy weatherman. Hey, baby, what's happening? Hey, pasta! Al Sweet here, and I imagine some of you were a little surprised at the weather over the weekend, especially if you watched my show Friday night, man. I'd like to apologize for the weather, especially to the former residents of Rogers, Oklahoma. Caught them napping. First of all, the pollen count from Long Island Jewish Hospital. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if you'll take a look at our weather map, these cats have moved over here. You see that we got a warm front which extends from Natchez to Mobile. From Memphis to St. Joe. Oh, but it's a big town, huh? You see me some bad cat. Stop, 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 stop. Hey. Take a quick look at the radar. I see the radar tonight is picking up a line of thunder showers which extends from a point 9 miles south-southeast of Chester, Pennsylvania, along a line and 6 miles either side of a line to a point 8 miles north-northeast of Secaucus, New Jersey. However, the radar is also picking up a squadron of Russian ICBM, so I wouldn't sweat the thunder shower.
I was coming in from Baltimore to do the show, and, well, I was on the train there, and I'm settled in my seat. I'm very relaxed, and the first thought that passed through my mind was to familiarize myself with the surroundings. And I glanced across the aisle, and I noticed that the lady occupying the seat there had her baby with her. Ugly baby. Bad-looking baby. Now, generally, I'd hesitate about passing an opinion about somebody's kid, but this was, even if I don't say it, it's an ugly baby. I only took one quick look, like that, and I saw her. In from the front of the coach comes this guy to guys. He's had a few. And as he approached the section where the woman was with the baby, he stops, and he's staring, like that. And the woman's watching him. She's watching him from the corner of her eye. She says to him, "What are you looking at?" The guy says, "I'm looking at that ugly baby." So that's a bad-looking baby, lady. a lot of money with that baby. Well, you don't have to hire any babysitter. Nobody's going to bother that kid. The lady gets offended. She gets offended. Does that make sense? And she pulls the emergency cord, the train stopped, there's a big scene in there, all everybody's crowding around there, and you know the guy who goes through the train selling those 25-cent sandwiches for $1.50. He comes in, big scene, the conductor comes in, the conductor says, what's going on here? What's going on here? And the lady said, this fellow just insulted me. And I don't have to spend my money to ride this railroad and be insulted. The conductor said, now calm down, lady. He said, madam, the Pennsylvania Railroad will go to any length to avoid having differences between the passengers. He said, perhaps it would be more to your convenience if we were to rearrange your seating. And as a small compensation from the railroad, if you'll accompany me to the dining car, we'll give you a free meal. Maybe we'll find a banana for your monkey.
I used to hang out with a gang, man. You know, we called ourselves like the hippie dippies. You know, not really hippie dippy. You know, it was like leather jackets and stuff like that, leather pants, leather hair. You know, we used to get our hair straight, processed hair. You know, and made us look Puerto Rican. And, it's like it's easier in the Midwest, man. Cause the guy, I didn't know you were Spanish. Come on in.
See.
So,
See, I think I come in, yeah.
So, man, we used to do this thing. The cops, see, the thing is, like, you're trying to have games with the cops because there's nothing to do in a small town but play with the police. And the police don't hurt you. In a small town, they don't hurt you, you know, because they don't know much about hurting. But they know how, you know, they hit you a little bit, you know. And they used to come around and tell the guys to get off the corner, right? So the cop would come and say,
I want this corner in 5 minutes, fellas. I want you off of it, you understand?
And he'd leave, and while he was gone, everybody would sell wolf tickets, right? You know, I ain't going no place. You dig? Cop's gonna make me move. I pay taxes, you understand? And I'm gonna stay here all day. And I mean that. If I didn't have to go to work, I really would. Cops is wild. I remember there's a guy named Jesse used to fight the cops, right? Jesse, big tall guy, used to fight like 30 cops, right? Because the cops would come around, all right, you kids, stop having so much fun and go home, right? And Jesse said, I ain't going no place. You know, and he said, we got ways to make you move. Yeah, but they better be some good ones. And he was really fighting, man. Boom, 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 pip, pip, you know. And the next day, we talk about it, man. He said, Jesse, you was really tough the way you fought them 30 cops. I said, yeah, I know, man. I used to run from the cops, you know, because I did what I called my cool run. You know?
Cool run?
Yeah, because I couldn't fight. And I had a cool run. And girls are crazy about anything cool, right?
What's the cool run?
Cool run. That's when you run like this and girls say, look, Rich is running. Yes, but he's cool.
You think I'm nuts, right? A little crazy. Well, I am. I'm a little crazy, but we're all crazy. I've been looking at signs, folks. Everyday signs that we all see and accept without question. One of them is the sign that's on the door of every post office in America. The sign reads, no dogs allowed, except seeing eye dogs. Now, who's that for? And there's a brand new one at the post office I just saw. It must be a new law. It's a big sign under President Nixon's picture. It has notice. It is a federal offense to assault a post office worker. And then, in very small print, it has, while he's on duty. So you just wait, right? Is that your last letter, sir? Yes, it is. Boom. My favorite sign is right around the corner from here on 5th Avenue. A big sign in front of one of our big, beautiful churches. It's a big, beautiful sign. You can still see it. It's still there. And it has, come into this church to sit, to think, to look at the beautiful church, or to pray. It's never too late to talk to God. And right under that, it has hours, 9 a.m. to noon.
I was once invited, when I was a kid, to Seymour Gutkin's birthday party. Can I tell you the story?
Seymour Gutkin.
Yes, and I loathe birthday parties because my mother used to make me wear my cousin's hand-me-downs all the time, and she was not my size. You know, it was really humiliating for me. So I wouldn't lose them. My mother used to pin my mittens to my sleeves all the time, you know, and that day I had on a short-sleeve shirt, and I looked like this. I'm pinned into it, you know, just strangling. And I was, without question, the most adorable kid when I was young. I used to identify with Superman. I thought Superman and I had many traits in common when I was, because he used to go into phone booths all the time and remove his clothing, you know. I couldn't stop myself, you know. And I took my parents' best tablecloth, their Hotel Dixie tablecloth, you know. And they honeymooned at the Hotel Dixie.
I didn't know that.
The last night there, my father stole the tablecloth, so it shouldn't be a total loss, you know. This is true.
I believe you.
I tied it around my neck, and I draped it behind me, and I looked very menacing, really Superman-ish, you know? And I tuck it underneath my little shirt, and I go out on the BMT subway in Brooklyn to the Gutkin affair, and I'm coming into the Avenue J station, and I look out on the platform, and I see Hermina Jaffe being molested. 5 years old, but a swinger, you know?
Hermina was
Yeah, because she had an overbite. And that's, she had the biggest overbite in Brooklyn.
Well, at that age, that's...
She used to eat a piece of toast and finish the outer edge first on. The train pulls up and the doors open, and I leap out on the platform and I pull out my cape behind me, you know, and she's being attacked by Guy de Maupassant Rabinowitz, one of the worst kids in the world. In the early 1940s, in the Roosevelt Dewey election, his parents voted for Hitler. I said to him, take your hands off her, Guida. And he said to me, knock off, Four Eyes. They always told me, knock off. And I'm all set to hit him, and the doors to the subway close on my cape, and the train pulls out, you know?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Wonderful thing. And they're all funnier than ever, than they were then. One of the richest sources of material for the show over the years has been television itself. We do a lot of send-ups and satires on it. Primetime shows, hundreds of them have come and gone since we've been on the air. Children's shows. The classic Captain Kangaroo has been on I don't know how many years. Mr. Rogers with Fred Rogers has been on. He's a wonderful guy, but... And I say that in advance of what we did to his show one night. Here was a little Mr. Rogers segment, the way we wanted to see it once.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, a wonderful day to be neighborly. Won't you be my neighbor? Hi, neighbor. Are you having a nice day? Well, I am. Yes, I certainly am. Do you know you're the most wonderful person in the whole world? That's right. And I like you. Yes. And I hope you love me, too. It's just a beautiful day to be alive, isn't it? Well, boys and girls, why don't we go over and talk to Mr. Fish? Here's your breakfast, Mr. Fish. Do you know what I think, boys and girls? I think Mr. Fish has bought the farm. Maybe he's just sleeping. Up and at him, Mr. Fish. Nope, he's dead, all right. That's what happens when you forget to feed Mr. Fish like Mr. Rogers did. By the way, boys and girls, there may be one or two of you out there who haven't yet joined the Mr. Rogers Pal for Life Club. For only $12, you get a membership card and a certificate stating, somebody loves me. Remember, you can't be my pal until you've sent your $12 and have an official membership card. Remember, if you don't send it, then nobody will ever love you. And your dog will die. Do you know what these are, boys and girls? That's right. These are baby shoes. And you know what? Mr. Rogers was once a baby a long, long time ago. And do you know how babies suddenly appear in the world where before there weren't any around? Well, I know, and I'll show you. This is a mommy doll and a daddy doll. And they love each other very, very much. So what they do... At night, they get under the covers, and 9 months later, Mommy Doll looks like this. So Daddy Doll takes Mommy Doll to the hospital. They go into the hospital, and the very next day, out comes Mommy Doll and her new baby doll. Then the Daddy Doll comes out to take them home. Whoops. Looks like Daddy Doll has made a new friend, Miss Nurse Doll. And they'd better be careful because 9 months later, Miss Nurse Doll might look like this. And then it's all over for Daddy. Because that's when Mommy Doll calls in Mr. Lawyer Doll, who does to Daddy Doll what Daddy Doll did to Mommy Doll 9 months earlier.
Okay, here's some youngsters we've had on the show. Nice thing about youngsters, they say anything that's on their mind. You're going to see Joey Lawrence, Drew Barrymore, and Dana Hill right here. What do you want to do? Do you want to be well, you're already a performer, obviously. That's a pretty dumb question for me. I mean, would you like to continue
Yes, I would.
to be a performer? Who do you like to see? Who's your favorite when you go to motion pictures? Who do you like to see?
I don't know.
Do you know who Gene Kelly is? Fred Astaire?
No, I don't.
Okay. John Travolta? Mickey Mouse. I forget that he's only been in the business 78 days. You've never seen this show before?
Well, when I was up vomiting and all that stuff.
We like to get him sick early, and then they can kind of go up with the show. You were ill one night, were you? And so to get up, you between vomits, you kind of looked in on the show. Good. Okay. That's a first. That's another first here. It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too. I've been waiting all my life to meet you, and I found you.
Your whole life. It's a miracle. Well, that's why I stayed on the show an extra 7 years, just so you would show up here. Well, I wanted to meet you, too, because I've been reading all about you, and you're a lovely young actress.
Thank you.
Yeah. You look very nice. Yeah.
Do you know I stay up till a couple of hours to watch your show?
Do you really?
Just because of you.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh, come on now. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand all of the jokes?
Some of them.
Well, you fit right in. You have a pretty smile. You have pretty teeth.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
You know, tell me if you noticed this. It would be kind of easier to talk without my teeth.
What are you talking about? Let me see those now. Give me a little smile. They're really growing, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you wear this when you do?
TV shows, yes.
Well, at least you're honest. Now, most women I know would not do that. They wouldn't like anybody to know that secret, that you were wearing a little clip in there. But you won't have to wear that much longer, will you?
Flipper.
Yeah, that's just so your teeth kind of line up and...
Yeah, but they kill.
Yeah? Doesn't it feel very good?
No, they don't.
You want to keep it out, then? We'll just talk without it?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I wish my mom
Just
would.
clip it.
dream. This is the truth. Before the first time I was on the show.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to talk about right there. I was real nervous. So I had this dream. This is the truth. Now, could you imagine Howard Cosell co-hosting the Academy Awards with you?
Oh.
I could you see how he said, "This is Howard Cosell speaking to you live from the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion in Southern California. We're here for the 55th Annual Academy Awards, the granddaddy of all award shows."
That's good.
I mean, could you see him talking about you?
I'd be on the floor.
He said, "I'm standing here with my co-host, the king of late-night television, Mr. Monologue himself, Johnny Carson."
Mr. Monologue himself. Okay, here's the thing. Some years ago, you used to do all the Alpo commercials live, right?
Right.
They would hire a dog to come in. Ed did the commercials right backstage here.
Right.
Here's what happened a few years ago.
Alpo Beef Chunks Dinner is the only one of the 3 leading canned dog foods that does have real beef. Right. Nourishing meat byproducts and real beef, plus soy, vitamins, and minerals. The real beef could be the reason. Hernandez here. You heard him cry. Come here, dear. Come on. Come here. There it is. Come on. Come on up. Come on. Right here. There you go. Okay. He's a little frightened. I'll put it down further. There you go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on, dog. Well, Hernandez is a little spot. Yes, please. Come right, yes, please. Hernandez, nice Hernandez. Alpo, the next time you find yourself looking at the can dog shows, yes, nice Hernandez. Reach for the can that contains real beef. Alpo. That way you can be sure of giving your dog the meat byproduct and the beef he loves. Now, doesn't your dog deserve Alpo?
Live television. Okay, here's a classic. I don't know what year this goes back to. I was getting a massage one night from a couple of young, lovely Japanese girls, and I did not realize that Don Rickles had dropped into the studio without our knowing it. So this goes back about 10 years, I think.
Let your fingers do the walking. Hey, that really kicks out. I told you never. You girls go right ahead. Don't mind him.
You want that shirt back?
Kiss my sayonara. Nice to meet you. I remember them on Guam.
You want to take a bath?
Do I want to take a bath?
This is, you haven't met it. This is Mr. Rickles.
Hi. Could I do it a couple of minutes? No. Just give me a break. I'm so lonely.
Here's a little takeoff we did on the movie Patton one night. If you remember George Scott portrayal of that great opening they had for Patton, where he is addressing his troops. Here's our version of the opening of Patton.
All true Americans love the sting of battle. Americans love a winner, will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a person who didn't give it his all to win. Remember, we're a team. We live, eat, sleep as a team. We have the finest food, equipment, the best spirit, the best troops in the world. And I can assure you, you will all do your duty. And I'll be proud to lead you wonderful troops into action, anytime, anywhere. So get out there, troops, and sell those cookies. Make the campaign door to door. God, I love cookies. Move it on.
We'll take a break. We're going to come right back. A lot of other things for you, so stay where you are. All right, we are back. Okay, as you probably know, President Reagan has been criticized in some circles because he sometimes does not seem adequately prepared in his press conferences. And some have suggested that the problem was due to insufficient briefing of the president by his staff members. So to see whether or not this is true, we went to the Oval Office and listened in on one of these briefing sessions.
Well, now, would you send in Jim Baker, please?
Morning, Mr. President.
Well, good morning, Jim. Just sit down there.
Yes, sir. Mr. President, your press conference is scheduled to begin in an hour, so we only have a short time for me to brief you on the kind of subjects that the press may throw at you.
Well, now, the environment is on their minds, and I'm sure they'll ask me about my Secretary of the Interior.
What?
I said I'm sure they'll ask me about my Secretary of the Interior.
What?
Jim, I just told you I think they'll ask about my Secretary of the Interior.
James what? You're scheduled to go swimming with him tomorrow morning at the Y.
Where?
Why?
Why?
That's right. With what?
With what? I don't even know with who, Jim.
Not who, what?
Well, now, Jim, let's get this straight. I'm going swimming tomorrow with who?
What?
Where?
Why?
Jim, let's go on to the Middle East now. I'll need the first name of the head of the PLO, that Arafat guy.
Yes, sir.
I said I'll need the first name of the head of the PLO.
Yes, sir.
Jim, it's nice of you to be polite, but what is his name?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, now you're giving me two different answers, Jim. Now, what is his name?
No, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, now, I ask you what is the first name of the head of the PLO, and you tell me no, sir.
That's right.
Then you tell me yes, sir.
Absolutely. You got it.
I got
what? He's the Secretary of the Interior.
Jim, I don't understand why you're doing this to me.
Oval Office, Baker. Yes? You have the head of the Republic of China calling for the president. Premier Chung Dong-hu. Hold on. Mr. President, who's on the phone?
Well, now, Jim,
Jim, I don't know who's on the phone.
That is correct.
What's correct?
No, he's your Secretary of the Interior.
Now, Jim, let's start all over here very quietly. Just tell me, Jim, who is on the phone? Who is on the phone? Who?
Yes, sir.
That Arafat guy is on the phone, Jim?
No, sir. Who is?
What?
Swimming tomorrow morning at the Y.
Thank you. I think the other actor's name was Fred Holliday, isn't it? Fred Holliday.
It's good.
When we book things on the show, we always assume that they're going to work. Sometimes people come on with, we had a man who invented a gas-powered unicycle. We had a champion smoke ring blower, and finally a gentleman who wrote us a letter saying he had raised some birds who were guaranteed to talk. Here's what happened to all of those problems. You have to crank it up, or?
Oh, yes, this is a little engine you have to pull the starter on, just like a lawnmower. Not much different.
What rocket company are you with?
Now, we just have to be a little patient. It always starts.
These things are always a little tricky. Would you like some platform, mate? You think you could have flooded it? I don't know how it works. Maybe you're overexerted or something.
Oh, no.
What do I do?
Ran this afternoon.
It always happens, you know. It's like a cigarette lighter. You can't get it, and you hand it to the first person, right? And off it goes. Show me what I can do to help.
Well, all you have to do is pull this cord.
All right. Is the ignition on?
Everything's ready to go.
Well, it's a brand new smoke ring blowing arena. And just testing the air here.
Testing. Starting to work now.
Now we're going. Very difficult, Johnny. The atmospheric conditions are not just ideal. Requires a great deal of concentration. The cigar must be humidified just perfectly, and the humidification level increases and amplifies a bit as the cigar is smoked along.
just electric.
Very difficult challenge,
Yes,
Johnny.
it certainly is.
Brought one of the finest cigars here, you know. We'll send one over to the orchestra there. We'll send one right to you, John. It's been the most difficult challenge of my career. Smoke ring blower.
What's this one's name?
That's Susie.
This is Susie. Hello. Just have to repeat sometimes?
No, he'll do it.
Oh.
Hello, Suze. Hello. Hello, Bird.
15 minutes. We got.
You just have to be a
This
little
bird
patient.
better get cracking, Doctor. I know.
Hello, Suze.
Hello, Suze.
Come on, Suze, put your wings out.
Put your wings out. Well, sure, if you help him, you'll put it out.
That's it. Now, he just said hello.
Wait a minute, he just said hello, and my arm is locking, Doctor.
You can put him down. He's very well housebroken. He's not just too well suit broken.
Oh, okay.
So hold him over the desk.
Hello.
Hello, Suze. Hello, Bird. Hello, Susie. Nina will talk.
Mm-hmm. With Nina we'll talk, or we'll eat Nina. Well, just teasing. Look, animals sometimes, they come out, they're in a strange environment. Yeah. And the lights and the so forth.
A commercial would come and...
Hello, Bird. Hello, Nina. Hello, pretty bird. Now, this is Little Bird.
Oh, God. We could have shown still pictures, Doctor. No, look. We'll give him a chance to really kind of get the feel of the show. And come back and you will hear all three birds do the Andrews sisters. Right. They never did. All right. Okay, lest you think we malign the gentleman and his birds, we did have somebody on one night with a bird that really came through. Watch this.
Can you say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
Good. Okay, that's one.
Can you say that a little softer?
Hi.
Now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Like all good singers do before they sing, well, sometimes they like to warm up. Can you warm up for us? Warm up. Attaboy, Pancho.
Oh, we got a winner here.
Now.
We got a winner.
His first song is from the musical South Pacific, Bally High. Bally High. Attaboy, Pancho. How about I left my heart in San Francisco. I? No, I. Just because Johnny likes that one, huh? Okay, I left. No, I left. Springtime. Warm up for us. Okay. Okay, now we'll try to get springtime. Okay, here we go. Springtime. When it's springtime. When it's spring.
Okay, one person. That's sensational. Will he do San Francisco one more time?
Sure, how about... I left.
That bird is all show business. We'll take a break. We're coming right back. With Jack Webb, Andy Williams, Robin Williams. A lot of stuff. We are back. Since the early days of television, police shows have been a staple of television since the early years. I guess the granddaddy of them all was Dragnet with Jack Webb. And it was easy to do a parody on because of the unique style of delivery they had on that show. From 1968, Jack Webb dropped by for a little interrogation.
This is the city. Los Angeles, California. Some people rob for pleasure. Some rob because it's there. You never know. My name's Friday. I'm a cop. I was working the day watch out of robbery when I got a call from the Acme School Bell Company. There'd been a robbery.
There's been a robbery.
Yes, sir. What was it?
How's that?
What was stolen, sir?
I run a school bell company. Never had any trouble before. Can't understand it. Just make bells. Never had any trouble.
Sir? What was stolen?
My clappers.
Your clappers?
Yeah, you know those things inside a bell that makes them clang?
The clangers.
That's right, we call them clappers in the business.
A clapper caper.
What's that?
Nothing, sir. Now, can I have the facts? What kind of clappers were stolen on this caper?
They were copper clappers.
And where were they kept?
In the closet.
Uh-huh. You have any ideas who might have taken the copper clappers from the closet?
Well, just one. I fired a man. He swore he'd get even.
What was his name?
Claude Cooper.
You think he...
That's right. I think Claude Cooper copped my copper clappers. Kept in the closet.
You know where this Claude Cooper is from?
Yeah. Cleveland.
That figures.
That figures. What makes it worse, they were clean.
Clean copper clappers.
That's right.
Why do you think Cleveland's Claude Cooper would cop your clean copper clappers kept in your closet?
Only one reason.
What's that?
He's a kleptomaniac.
Who first discovered the copper clappers were copped?
My cleaning woman, Clara Clifford.
That figures. Now let me see if I got the facts straight here. Cleaning woman Clara Clifford discovered your clean copper clappers kept in a closet were copped by Claude Cooper, the kleptomaniac from Cleveland. Now, is that about it?
One other thing.
What's that?
If I ever catch kleptomaniac Claude Cooper from Cleveland who copped my clean copper clappers from kept in the closet,
yes,
I'll clobber him.
This looks to me like an 802.
No, what's that?
Klutzy comedy.
Thank you, Jack. Okay. Some of the most intriguing people we've had on the show are people outside of the entertainment industry. And here's a gentleman by the name of, what was it, Frank O'Hill. Frank O'Hill. And he makes jewelry out of quail droppings. And Frank O'Hill dropped by on the show. Right? Somebody has to do that. Frank dropped by a couple of months ago on the show. See if that fits you all right?
It does real good.
You're a pretty good size man.
You're a nice-looking man, too, Mr. Carson.
Thank you, Frank.
Yeah, thank you.
You just call me Johnny if you want to.
Well, my people taught me to call everybody older than I am Mister.
So you're dropping a few on me right off, huh? Little quail ammunition, though. Oh, I'm just kidding. That's all right, Frank. Where is, I was going to say, where's Route 5, but obviously it says here, Union, South Carolina. Where's Union, South Carolina?
It's kind of in the suburbs of Lockhart, South Carolina. You might in between.
That's a beautiful state, I understand, and I've never been to South Carolina.
Oh, yes, there's Allenburg and Kelton and Bentleytown.
Yeah?
A lot of pretty good-sized towns.
Yeah. You spent most of your life down there, have you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Born and raised right there, and I always knew where to go when I'm home, but around here, people move a lot faster than they do down home.
It's spread out. It doesn't...
They talk a lot faster than they do down at home.
We do, don't we? We tend to rush things.
Yes, sir. But if you don't have much to say, I guess it's all right to talk fast.
Well, you're probably right.
I'm sorry, boss man. I didn't talk. I was talking about something. I was thinking about something else.
Okay, now, can we show some of these
yes,
these
sir.
items?
Yes,
because
sir.
they're rather fascinating, and I'll just ask you about them. And I don't really understand how this works. Is this?
This here, Mr. Carson, is one of the largest droppings that a quail ever dropped. I'm sure.
A Guinness dropping, huh? Yeah.
And her name was Sarah Bell, and she died soon after that.
Now this is the actual. This is the actual thing that came out of her feathered colon, right here.
Failed it. I mean, you know.
But and you put it inside of a.
Yes, sir.
Of some kind of stone.
Right. It's plastic.
Right.
I thought it was great that, a fella like you would let old Southern country boy be on the show and sell such cheap manure.
No, that's all right. These are.
You get such a high price, so I brought you the biggest one.
Well, that's very nice.
And here's a start. And I'm going to break the mold. That's a first limited edition, and it's just for you.
A limited edition.
And I'm going to break the molds when I get back to South Carolina. It's a big dropping.
Yeah.
For a big start.
Oh, that's very nice. Big dropping for a big star. I don't think I've ever been so moved, Frank. You'll excuse the expression there.
Don't cry, but I'm sincere.
You're kind of the Cartier of caca, aren't you? Franco Hill. One of the consistently top-rated shows. We do the commercial first? Oh, I'm getting ahead of myself. All right, I'll come back and get behind myself. We'll be right back in just a moment. One of the, started to say, 60 Minutes has always been one of the top-rated shows in television, and it usually ends with a segment featuring observations on anything and everything by Andy Rooney. Earlier this year, we made some observations about Andy Rooney ourselves.
You know what bothers me about men's underwear? Have you noticed lately that it comes in tubes? Men's underwear shouldn't come in tubes. Tubes are all right for toothpaste and tennis balls, but not for skivvies. Now, no real man would wear a French bikini. Here's what I wear. Not fancy, but serviceable. I like my underwear the way I like my women, big and loose. Did you ever notice how things are named wrong? Like this word, hooker. Shouldn't she be called an unhooker? I mean, that's what she does. You give her a few bucks and she starts unhooking things. Somebody has to explain that to me. Do you ever notice when you throw your neighbor's kitty cat under your power mower? It looks like this. Did you ever notice that? Did you ever wonder about 60 Minutes?
We get huge ratings, but that's because we're on Sundays when there's not another damn thing to watch. Another thing. Did you ever see a weirder looking group of guys than this? Now, here's Morley Safer. I'm not sure about him. How many men do you know named Morley? Did you ever notice that Mike Wallace is over 60 years old and has jet black hair? I wondered how he did that. So when he went out to lunch one day, I went through his desk, and look what I found. That's right. This can of Kiwi shoe polish. And another thing. Did you ever notice you can't get these cans open? Did you ever notice that Jane Fonda, although she went to Hanoi and is a political activist and a leftist, has got a great set of buns? I wonder if Castro's got nice buns, too. I don't know, do you? Did you ever notice when you go up to the drive-in window at Burger King, you never see Dwight Eisenhower? Did you ever notice how embarrassing it is when you ask your wife what's a good name for your segment on the show, and she looks in the bedroom and says, "How about a few minutes with Andy Rooney?" Did you ever notice that my cheeks are redder than Ronald McDonald's? Why is that? I don't know. Maybe it's because I keep a bunch of six-packs in my desk. You ever wonder why I drink? I know why I drink. You have to be half-bombed to do these silly little spots they give me in the last minute of the show. Matter of fact, I'm so depressed, I'm going to end it. You ever wonder why they call it suicide? I mean, you're not suing anybody. I mean, you're splattering yourself all over the sidewalk. Why don't they call it splattercide? And another thing, why do we always say... Thank you, Andy. Every once in a while, a comedian on the show gets on what we call a roll. Everything works for him. A couple of months ago, Robin Williams was on the show and had one of those strike-it-rich nights. Here's Robin in action. Did you ever go back to San Francisco? That's where you hung out a lot?
Oh, San Francisco, where God Save the Queen has a different meaning.
Yeah.
The only place, that's a wonderful city. The only place in the world to have real drag races. Two men going, "What are you wearing?" "I don't know what I'm wearing." Even the police in San Francisco are wonderful. That you get stopped by the police, they pull you over and go, "Search me, I might have a gun."
Stop and frisk laws a way of life.
Yeah.
They stop you for, look at that shirt. Take that off. Fashion risk. 2 points. Get out of the car.
They have a new drunk driving test in San Francisco. Oh, be careful. I shouldn't.
Oh, no.
Hey, Mr. Williams, don't be doing that now. Yeah. I'm sorry, Mr. DeCor, but I didn't mean to. Right now, he's going, wrap it up.
What is the test?
It's a real simple one, basically. It's a simple one. Can I move over here just a second?
Certainly.
The mic follows you. There's a guy over there going, "Only 5 feet, idiot." It's a real simple one. If you've been drinking, be careful. They have a quick test for you, too. If you've been smoking a little something, they always go, "Behind you. Get in the car." Okay, but a simple thing like this. It's a drunk driving test. So I always feel like I feel like Richard Simmons. Is so cruel to women, though. You call those breasts? I've seen better lumps than oatmeal. Let's go. Put them together, mate. One good one, honey. Let's go. You can imagine him with Custer. Imagine Richard Simmons with Custer going, "Oh, honey, that wig's coming off anyway. Let's go. Opening number for the Indians, pasties and tomahawks only. Let's go. Here's your choreography. First of all, let's shoot, shoot, scalp, scalp, shoot, shoot." What's the test? It's a test? All right. It's a simple one. You know, they usually have this thing. You can blow up the balloon, and unless, of course, you're F. Lee Bailey, who blows up the balloon and goes, "Hey, over here." But you have the special drunk driving test. It's a very simple one. They make you close your eyes like this. There's no thing that you start off like this. It's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and fussy, fussy 1, fussy, fussy 2, 4, 4, West Side Story.
The Bob Fosse took Dragnet. You know? Commercials are the backbone of the television industry. If it weren't for commercials, I'd be standing in a grain elevator somewhere in Nebraska saying, "Third floor, corn." But once in a while, we throw caution to the winds and, as they say, bite the hand that feeds us. Here's some little commercial blackouts, the way we'd like to see them just once.
Oh, ciao, Aldo.
Aldo Cello isn't handsome. Aldo Cello isn't wealthy. But Aldo Cello knows what women like.
Hi, honey, I left the office early. And have I got a surprise for you? I brought the Colonel home.
I've got a surprise for you. So did I.
Honey, I left our traveler's checks on top of my locker.
Oh, no.
No problem. Oh, honey, this is Mr. Ito.
Please, don't get up.
Citizen Corp office right next door. But these weren't Citizens Corp traveler's checks.
Oh, so sorry that I can't help you.
What will we do?
What will they do? For years, women have waited for their men to come home from the sea. They remember their men and the hearty nautical fragrance of their cologne. Holds flight for men who've been at sea a little too long.
Hi, I'm Johnny Dugan. You might remember. I used to be a well-known prize fighter in this. I had a wife and everything was going really well until I contracted my tragic ailment, Slim Whitman's disease. Thanks to Yodel Hills Hospital, I am now able to lead a useful and productive...
There is hope. Contact Yodel Hills Hospital when someone you love talks real silly.
Thank you very much.
Here's the bill. Last of the great ladies' men. Here's the bill. A free man.
Yeah, for 15 more hours.
Come on.
Speech.
Come on,
Speech.
Hey, you guys. You're beautiful. Especially you, Stan. So that I just didn't realize how really beautiful you were.
Good friend. When the night is kind of special, let it be Lowenborn.
My pantyhose make me look like I'm not wearing nothing.
My pantyhose make me look like I'm not wearing nothing.
Now, hold it, you little teasers. Now, come on. Admit it, you're really wearing something, aren't you?
Yes, we are.
Well, I'm not. We'll be right back after this word from one of our real sponsors.
Really nice one.
Okay. Now for a little music. Thank you. Every few years, a song comes along that becomes an instant hit, and every singer puts it in their repertoire. For years, it was My Way and I Gotta Be Me or My Life. So as a salute to the city where we started out 20 years ago, we combined 5 separate Tonight Show performances of the very same song, New York, New York.
Chicago, Chicago, that's... I left my heart in San Fran. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York.
These vagabond shoes are longing to stray and step around the heart of it. New York, New York. I want to wake up in a city that doesn't sleep, to find I'm king of the hill, top of the heap. These little town blues are melting away. I'll make a brand new start of it in old New York.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. Come on, come through, New York, New York. New York, New York. I wanna be there in that city that does not sleep, to find that I'm king of the hill, the head of the class, cream of the crop, and the top of the heap.
Give my regards to Broadway. Yes, in old New York. If I can make it there, you know damn well I'm gonna make it anywhere. It's up to you, New York, New York, New
Oh, yeah. Good piece of work. Thank you, Peter. That's a beautiful job. It's a beautiful job of editing. We probably had 2 or 3 other people that sang that song during the year also. Now, many of you have seen about what we're about to show you. It is probably the most requested clip on The Tonight Show. It goes back to the year 1965. At that time, Ed Ames was playing the Indian Mingo on the TV series Daniel Boone. And Ed Ames came on the show that night to give a little demonstration in the art of tomahawk throwing. And here's exactly the way it happened back in 1965.
Okay, Mingo.
Well, shall we have
Get
a go
your
at it?
axe and let's go.
All right,
What is the trick on this? You throw underhanded?
No.
Oh, overhanded
It's
then.
an overhand throw. The trick is to keep your arm extended, and that way you break the microphone. You know, you keep your arm extended and put only one revolution on the... once around on the way. But that's indefinite.
All right.
Jewish.
Welcome to Frontier Brit.
That is one of the earliest sections we have in the Tonight Show. One of the things that we face every year on anniversary show night is that we do not have a lot of the shows from the first 8 or 10 years. They were wiped off the tape. And so most of the things we have in the last 10 years, would it be nice to have those?
Oh, we don't have the first show.
The very first show with Groucho Marx, Joan Crawford. Very first show.
Mel Brooks?
Mel Brooks. I think Rudy Valley was
Rudy
on that
Valley,
show.
right.
Not to be. Anyway, from time to time on the show, I love working with children and older people because older people, like children sometimes, don't have a facade, and they just say what is on their minds, and they tell it the way it is. There was an interview with a delightful 103-year-old Tilly Abrahamson. Watch this. I find it hard to believe that you are 103 years old.
I was born in 1878. I'm 3 years younger than the telephone.
I've never heard it put quite so well. You would be, wouldn't you?
Well, the telephone was invented in 1875.
You're right.
I was born in 1878.
My
So I'm 3 years younger than the telephone.
How do you get this question all the time, so forgive me for asking it. If there is a secret for becoming old or living to be 103, is there any secret at all? Nothing you do to keep in shape?
Never smoked.
Never smoked?
Never drank.
Oh, that's 2 out of 3. Have you got something else?
And when the women started to wear pants, I made a vow that I would never wear pants.
What is your day like? What time do you get up in the morning?
What time I get up?
Yeah.
6:30 in the morning.
Ah, that's another secret of...
It's a long day, isn't it?
Yeah. But how late do you stay up?
No, I'm an early riser and an early going to bed.
Yeah.
I usually go to bed around 8 o'clock.
About 8 o'clock?
It depends on what's on to see.
Yeah. At the risk of, have you ever seen me in this show before?
We sure do. I would go to bed with it.
Well, you said you go to bed early.
Well, now. No, but you know, when I lived in Chicago,
when you lived in Chicago, you stayed up.
We get them earlier there.
That's right. The show is on earlier in Chicago.
I saw you the other night. I stayed up.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's nice. I'm flattered. That's right. Were you any good that night?
Yeah, you look good on television. I'll tell you something funny.
At the risk of... Go ahead. What were you going to say?
At the risk of being funny, I have a 5-year-old great-granddaughter.
You have a 5-year-old?
They brought her over to see me.
Uh-huh.
And my granddaughter said, "Debbie, this is your great-grandma." So she walks over, she looks one side of me, then she walks over and looks at the other side. And she says, "Grandma," just loud like that, "are you old?" I says, "Why do you want to know?" She says, "Because your face is so messy."
Messy?
So I said to her, "You know why?" She said, "No." I says, "Because I don't iron it."
One of the fears, as you know, of many people as they grow old is money. You know, they worry about that, their health and money. Now, I don't want to be too personal. Are you all right financially?
Yes, I don't depend on my children.
Yeah.
But I feel by living so long, I'm using up their inheritance.
Tilly will be celebrating her 104th birthday on December 26th. We'll be right back. Before we say goodnight, I would like to thank I'd like to thank all the people who appeared via tape for being on our 20th anniversary show. I want to thank Ed and Doc and Freddie and Peter and all of the people on our staff for putting together the show. And most of all, we would like to thank the people who've been watching us the past 20 years. And as we start next Monday on our 21st year, we hope you'll be with us. Thank you. You've made it a wonderful 2 decades. And we'll see you.